Hello and welcome back to the sideboard here at SCG Nashville. We're 5 rounds into the Legacy Open, and I'm sitting here with Jeffrey Blyden. How are you today?
Doing pretty good.
All right. Jeffrey, you are 5-0, and some people like to play junk depths, some people like to play lands. You're playing something special. What is the name for it?
Name of the deck is Maritocracy.
And the gist of this deck is getting a 2020 Merit Lage into play as quickly as possible, correct?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Now, we have just a spicy slew of cards here. I'm going to ask you questions. You're going to tell me why this and why is such a streamlined version of the deck as opposed to the other one. So starting off, you have Into the North to fetch Dark Depths.
Yep.
And then you have a slew of other cards like Sylvan Scrying and Crop Rotation. Explain all of your choices here.
Okay. Well, this deck actually started about a year and a half ago, and we just realized that Dark Depths wasn't in Legacy, so why not just build the fastest version possible?
Right.
And we started looking through all the old card sets, and that's when we found Into the North, Sylvan Scrying, and Crop Rotation, all being legal. We just went from there.
Now, you also have Elvish Spirit Guide and Lotus Petals, ways to accelerate your mana.
Yep.
But you also have Discard and Thoughtseize. When I looked through the main deck, the first thing I saw was Pithing Needle.
Yeah.
You have 4 main deck Pithing Needle.
I do.
What are the targets?
Usually Liliana of the Veil, Wasteland. Those are the main cards that we have to hit with Pithing Needle because they're very difficult to beat. Aside from that, there's a lot of other cards that just get caught with the splash damage. Like I was able to name a Deathrite Shaman. There we go. Deathrite Shaman earlier today.
Right.
As well as Umezawa's Jeet, which was key because he couldn't gain life to go above 20.
Wow.
So.
All right. So why this version? And is it protected against the decks with Disruption? Like, what are the strengths and weaknesses compared to the typical Jund Depths or the Jund Depths and just lands in general?
Well, everyone is familiar with Jund Depths and Junk Depths now. So one of the strengths is that I'm very quick. So normally game 1 is over before they realize that I'm actually a different deck. And to combat those decks, people tend to bring in Graveyard Hate, and it does nothing against me. I have 0 Graveyard interactions.
Right. Okay.
And it's a lot faster, which I think is a strength.
So you can often capitalize on people thinking your lands are Junk Depths.
Exactly.
Bringing in dead sideboard cards.
Yep.
While they still don't know exactly what you're doing.
Exactly.
Wow. What's the fastest you've killed someone today with this deck?
Today I've had 2 turn 2 2020s.
Seems pretty good.
Yeah. You can get the turn 1, but I haven't had a turn 1 today, just several turn 2s.
Okay. Now, the sideboard also has some pretty interesting options. You've got Leyline of Sanctity, of course, to prevent against discard and the like, which I saw was very helpful in your last round against a Shardless Bug player.
Yes.
I mean, I believe he just had a grip full of discard, and you just started with that in play. Ashen Rider, I guess, Show and Tell.
Yes.
Things like that. So what are the matchups the Tabernacle's for?
Well, Tabernacle is good against a lot of the aggro decks. It's good against Elves. It's really good against the Delver decks because in order for them to actually keep up interaction with you, they have to make a choice. Do we keep my Delver alive, or am I going to hold up all these counterspells such as Spell Pierce and advance my board state by trying to dig deeper with Ponder and Brainstorm and such?
Seems pretty good, especially with the Toolbox package to be able to bring it up. Now, one last card, and I had never even seen this card before, and I'm sure I'm not the first person to have to pick it up and read it, but Not of This World.
Yes.
When did you come across this, and how long have you been using it?
That's Mike Augustine's creation.
Okay.
He's the one that found it, realized that it's just a free force of will for most of the scenarios this deck actually encounters. Stops Karakas, stops Maze of Ith, stops any targeted removal that's being aimed at your Merit Lage token. It does everything you want it to do.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love this deck, and I hope you do well with it the rest of the way. You're already 5-0. So, Jeffrey Blyden, thanks you for joining me in the,
no problem.
The sideboard here.
Thank you.
I'm Nick Miller, signing off from SCG Nashville.